Hey, we're back on Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. There's nothing I enjoy more on this program than featuring a serial entrepreneur, and that's exactly what my next guest is. AJ Silber is exactly that serial entrepreneur who has a passion for digital marketing and organic lead generation. AJ grew the Guerrilla Agency into the leading SEO agency, and we're going to talk about that acronym. We share it all the time on the air in Minneapolis, and within 4 short years, he turned that venture into a multi-million-dollar exit. We're going to talk about some of his new ventures and all the great stuff he's doing. AJ Silber, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So my understanding is that your hobbies are enjoying your Harley, doing snow sports, spending time with friends and family, but I don't know how you have all the time for that based on some of the things that I've seen on your resume.
Yeah, I feel like one of my big things is work-life balance. I think is huge. I think starting obviously businesses is a passion of mine. That's what I'm doing kind of during the week. But once Friday hits, man, I'm out there on the motorcycle. I'm snowboarding. I'm doing stuff on the weekend. I'm hanging out with my wife. I'm enjoying restaurants. I think the benefit of starting businesses, right, is to reap the rewards afterwards, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And a little birdie told me that you are definitely a coffee drinker and enjoy plenty of caffeine. Is that accurate?
Oh, 100%. I am literally drinking caffeine 24/7. I feel like I should cut down. Once you get up there, though, it's impossible to cut back.
Oh, wild. So we're going to talk about your prior entity as well as your current project, your latest venture, Small Business Bonfire, a company focusing on helping entrepreneurs start and scale their business through free resources, actionable articles, and low-cost courses. But let's start in the very beginning. How did you grow and sell your agency so super-duper fast?
Yeah, thanks for that. I think the biggest thing was always having a focus on leads and sales. I think was the biggest part, is that we really kind of drank our own Kool-Aid at the Guerrilla Agency, and so we were heavily focused on, generating inbound leads through SEO, through search marketing, a little emphasis on social media, email marketing, that kind of thing, but mainly focusing on, the stuff that we were really good at, SEO. And I came in with a sales background, right? So my big thing was, using a CRM consistently, measuring progress over time, and then getting those leads closed. And then, of course, on the other side of the business, really facilitating those leads and making sure that we're doing a great job for our clients. So really, at a high level overview, those are the 3 biggest things, right? Like closing leads, facilitating the business, and then just steadily growing over time. Not losing clients was also a big piece of it. But yeah, I would say those are kind of the biggest things, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And so something I found really interesting is, obviously you've gone through, there's so much we could talk about, structuring your agency for that smooth sale, navigating that multi-million-dollar exit. But what did you learn from working with the new agency owner?
Yeah, I got extremely lucky, if I'm being 100% honest. What had happened is that Phil Singleton owned an agency out of Kansas City called Kansas City Web Design and SEO. And when he came in to purchase the agency, man, he's just a great guy. He's a doer. He loves SEO. He's the best SEO that I've ever worked with. And I just knew from, that kind of the first initial, due diligence took 6 months. So, whether it was the first conversation or the several conversations thereafter, I just knew it was going to be a smooth transition. He was going to take care of our people here at the Guerrilla Agency, and then obviously just make the product better. Again, like he's been doing this longer than I had. He started in 2005. So, I knew he was going to, come in and do a bang-up job, and I think that was really important. So, again, I got kind of lucky in a way, having Phil kind of come in and buy the agency. That said, I think I made the transition easier, and I talked to a lot of entrepreneurs about this, because I took myself out of the day-to-day operations of the business. So, I started the Guerrilla Agency in 2017, and by the time that I was selling, sold it, I had my hand in sales just because I like doing sales on a regular basis. That said, that's the only thing that I was really doing. I was working more on the business, becoming the face of the organization rather than working in the day-to-day. So when Phil came in to buy the company, it was very much turnkey. And then my transition out of the business was a lot easier because of that too.
Absolutely. I'm chatting with AJ Silber, who is now running his latest venture, Small Business Bonfire. Again, a company focused on helping entrepreneurs start and scale their business through free resources, actionable articles, and low-cost courses. So we're going to cut the break in a minute, but I want to make sure before we cut to that break, we squeeze in some of the, I'd say the top 2 tips that you have for folks interested in selling their business.
Yeah. Oh, this is a really big one for me. I would say my number 1 tip is start early. So if you're considering selling your business in the future, I don't care if that's going to be 10 years from now, 5 years from now, or next year. Preferably it's a little later on than next year. I always say start early. For listeners out there, I feel, I don't know if they're familiar with the term EBITDA, so earnings before interest and taxes, but that's traditionally how a business sells, is on a multiple like that. So the idea is, hey, what's the profit of the business? Multiply that by 4, 5, 6, whatever industry you're in, and that's what your business is going to sell for. So focusing on profit from the jump is probably the most important thing. Starting early and then going for the next 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years, whatever the case is, and then just focusing on steadily growing not only your gross revenue, top line revenue, but also, that EBITDA number is going to be really important. So business owners are going to want to see that grow, and then that's going to get you paid out more. So, I don't know if that's 2 things. I would say maybe that's 1 and 2, is focus on profit, focus on it early.
That's fantastic. That's great tips and something that's super valuable indeed. Again, you're listening to AJ Silber, Small Business Bonfire. Really, really excited to talk about all of these resources. We're going to continue that conversation when we return on Get Down to Business in just a moment. Get to my website, syklein.com. But again, don't touch that dial. We've got a lot more small business jobs and entrepreneurship in store for you when we come back with some free resources. We all love that, so don't touch that dial. Hey, we're back and Get Down to Business with the master caffeine drinker over here, but also the founder of the Guerrilla Agency, which again was turned into a multi-million-dollar exit, and now the founder of Small Business Bonfire. We've been chatting with AJ Silber, some great resources already on the sale of a company, but I want to talk about new things. And AJ, again, welcome back. Thanks so much for joining us. So let's talk about Small Business Bonfire. Where did this idea come from?
Yeah, so, this was actually a very interesting kind of idea that I had early on. So in SEO, a part of SEO and really a part of digital marketing is kind of affiliate marketing, display advertising, owning digital assets. So I actually we had acquired a website called Tweak Your Biz. This was 4 or 5 years ago, and eventually that business had sort of automated itself, where it was making a pretty significant amount of cash on a month-to-month basis. So in 2020, I thought to myself, I was like, hey, listen, let's try to invest in another publication, another website. I had done a quick Google search. I found another website that was very similar to Tweak Your Biz called Small Business Bonfire. I acquired it, and for the last couple of years, it's been shutting off for more or less a passive income. Now, one of the things that I decided to do in, call it 2022, when I sold the Guerrilla Agency, is really put an emphasis on Small Business Bonfire. And what I've seen in the market, if you go to Forbes, right, if you go to entrepreneur.com and you read the articles, you get some of the, the resources, if you could even call them that, from those websites. I mean, look at the actual people that are writing these articles. I mean, it's typically the intern's assistant. That's just the content's really been scraped, from other websites, and it's not really good. It's not quality. It's not really teaching anybody anything. So what I really set out to do with Small Business Bonfire is sort of be a mentor to, any businesses that are looking to scale up to 7 figures. So the idea for the website really is that I'm facilitating and writing all of the content on the site. So it's really kind of my perspective, right, and the stuff that I've really learned over the last, call it decade in business, and what really enabled me to scale and grow the Guerrilla Agency. I'm giving a lot of those, a lot of that content away for free on the website. The other piece of it is that I am a huge proponent of standard operating procedures. So I've got hundreds of standard operating procedures at this point that I used in my own agency to grow it and get myself out of the business, which enabled us to sell it. And I'm giving a lot of those SOPs away for free, right? So the idea is, get on the website, download some of that stuff. On the back end, one of the ways that I guess one of the more, specific ways that I'm trying to give back to the community is by doing a weekly newsletter called the Bonfire Field Guide. So I actually just spent a half day writing this one for this Friday. It's a weekly publication. So that's a newsletter that you can get on. It again, I'm giving away secrets. I'm kind of showing how to use those standard operating procedures. And then really finally, the thing with Small Business Bonfire is that I'm actually in the process of creating courses. So I sold an SEO agency, so I'm starting with an SEO course. That seems pretty standard, but I'm really rolling on a lot of different courses around, SEM, bringing in leads, sales, things of that nature. So I'm actually over the course of the next, I'm calling it year, 2 years on the roadmap, is to really create a lot of these courses that really kind of tie everything together and teach, a lot of these, call it six-figure entrepreneurs how to scale up to seven figures. And they're going to be low cost is the big thing. I mean, we're not talking about $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 courses, if that makes sense.
That's great. AJ Silber, I could talk to you for hours, my friend. I appreciate this. Free resources, some free courses, taking all the knowledge and expertise that you've learned over these past many years, a very successful career. And folks, I know will want to get in touch with you and find out all about Small Business Bonfire. How can they do that?
Yeah, so go to smallbusinessbonfire.com. I'm on there. I'm also on LinkedIn. You can just search AJ Silber, and also on Twitter, it's AJ_Silber. That's probably the best place to get in touch with me.
Fantastic. Well, that's a wrap for us here this week on Get Down to Business. We'll be back next Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on AM 560 The Answer or on your favorite podcast app. To success, let's get down to business. We'll see you next week.